Hi there, it's Steve Hopkins, and this is Crisis Within a Crisis. And today we're going to be starting a three-part series, all right, that's going to be focused on pivoting, kind of rebuffing, rebounding from failure, so to speak. And we focus on pivoting, we're going to focus on the mechanics of the pivot. All right, we have lots of other qualities and skills and behaviors around working out failure and disappointment, but we're going to work on the tactics of that in a pivot. So we tried something, it didn't work, and we have to move on, all right? And there's really three lessons that we're going to focus on here. I'll just briefly tell you what those are, and then we'll dive into the first one, all right? And the first one is kind of the analyzation, the laying the foundation for the next action item, all right? So laying the foundation. The second one is determining the actual pivot, determining the shift, all right? So then we have to put all our information together and make the next move, right? And the last one has to do with measuring. Now, all three of these are difficult because if we're pivoting, that means we've come through failure, right? And we could be tired, we could be demoralized, we could be de-energized. And so even though these three things sound simple, often as leaders we behave in misconstrued ways when it comes time to pivoting because of the ecosystem that we're in. All right, so let's jump into the first one. And so remember, we're talking about laying the foundation. And really what we want to do is we want to clearly identify some things that have gone on. All right, and there's four things that we really want to question and discover in this process. And the first one was just restating what was supposed to happen. All right, that's really important. Just, hey, we put this plan in place to do this. When we put the plan, this is what should have happened. All right, so remember, just reminding yourself what's supposed to happen. The next thing then is the magic moment of what did happen. Okay, well, this was supposed to happen, and then this is what happened. All right, seems obvious enough, but connecting those dots again, very, very important. All right, the third and fourth things are just defining the things we want to keep and the things we want to change. All right, and I like to call them sustains and improves. Okay, sustains are the things that actually were positive and we want to keep in the formula, all right? This could be something that, got the right start and then things unraveled after that, or even something all the way through that kind of stayed steady, and we want to keep that element in there, all right? So what sustains is what we want to keep. The improves is just talking about what needs to change. All right, this part didn't happen. All right, this part of the plan broke apart, and we got to change that. We tried to use these two people, and that didn't work out, or whatever, that resource or what have you. Okay, so those four things we want to literally break down and talk about, even write down. Right, it's so important because one of the things as a strong leader we tend to do when we kind of get kicked in the gut and we had a plan and it broke down and failed is we kind of leverage into momentum often, right? And what would be momentum? Hurrying up and doing the pivot so we can get into action, like action and just keep trying. And certainly speed's an important thing, especially in crisis. It can be very, very important, right? But taking the time for this first lay the foundation step to really take a glimpse at what we expected, what actually happened, right? What were the good qualities that we want to make sure to keep plugged in, keep in the equation this next time, and what parts we need to change. I think with those elements and that conversation, we'll be off to a good start leading to the next video, which will talk about what we're actually going to do, determining the shift.